What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas, and today's video is the last on the Nawtystep channel of 2018. It's going to be a bit of a perspective one looking forward into the new year, that being 2019. And seeing as this is a bass and dark electronic music oriented channel, I thought it would be good to get some thoughts out on what may lie ahead over the next 12 months in the scene. Lesser known producers who I think it will be a big year for, those who could make a return having had a brief spell out of the game, as well as some things that may happen for specific genres, and everything else that comes with discussing those things. So a bit of a speculation, prediction kind of video, which I suppose we shall only see with time how much of it actually comes true. Got a bit to live up to, but not a lot, I wouldn't say. 2018 was pretty good generally, but it doesn't rank alongside other previous years by any stretch, in my opinion. However, it is in a pretty good place at the moment, I would say, and hopefully that's reflected in the next calendar year. And I'm going to start here by rattling off a load of artists who I think it could be a particularly good year for in terms of what they might release, what they could bring to the bass table in 2019. And to begin with, Trampo released a few tracks in 2018, but we're due an EP from him for sure. Said he's been working on a fair amount of stuff recently, so hopefully that becomes a reality next year, and ideally within the context and format of a multi-track project. The ever-mystifying enigma, The Frim, didn't put out an EP in 2018, so you'd think that 2019 would be quite the big year for him, but frankly and unfortunately, you just never really know with him, do you? E-Hyde is someone else who's overdue a multi-track project, having had a relatively quiet 2018, one of my favourite producers of the last few years. Excited to hear what he's been cooking up. Sultan is also overdue a substantial multi-track release. Had a very quiet year last year, putting out only 3 tracks to my knowledge. Last EP we got from him was in 2016. So yeah, here's hoping with him. 2018 was a good year for Hero Bust, but the bass world definitely needs a new EP from him. Wonder which kind of directions he'll take his sound in next. Excited to hear how that one turns out, if it happens. Bad Clot I find to be an interesting one. Again, someone who hasn't put out an EP since 2016, but I feel like his style and approach is more suited to standalone tracks. Nevertheless, we could get an EP from him next year. Here's hoping. I always find myself wondering when Omega Mode will have a full breakout year. Having released so many great tracks in the past, maybe he will release something substantial this year, maybe not. That always seems to be the question with him. Other dubstep producers who have put out fantastic EPs in the past and who it would be great to get another multi-track project from next year include Zabor, Jet Set, The Others, Fed Up, and Krimmer. All 5 of those producers I've really enjoyed listening to in recent years, yet again 2018 was more about singles than EPs for them, so hopefully next year we will get some multi-track projects from those producers. I suppose at the very summit of that kind of producer is Skrillex. Know that he's got a lot lined up for people to hear, but what kind of genres he'll tap into, I don't think anyone knows. Also, will it be a sophomore album, a new EP, a load of singles and remixes? There really is no way of knowing, but as always with Mr. Sonny Moore, the hype is building and everyone is bursting at the seams for it. On the flip side, dubstep producers that had very active, almost breakthrough kind of years in 2018 and who I expect to continue that excellence into 2019 include Calcium, Somnium Sound, Poseidon, Similar Outskirts, Ace Aura, Redax, Basic, Jewel, Sora, Nost, Astomi, Exclusion, Bainbridge, Jekyll and Hyde. Just a few here that are very promising at the moment in the dubstep game. Not to mention labels such as Audio, Interval Audio and Bassweight Records, who are bringing a whole load of good to the underground dubstep scene. A lot of fire is sure to be brought to the table by them next year. In the seriously dark and heavy experimental realms of dark electronic music, I expect the likes of Sin, Drac, Monuman, Drevum, Shanghai Doom and Eugene to build on the very good 2018s that they all had. As well as addressing some big hitters like Moody Good for example, who didn't put out anything last year, so could come back with some huge material next year. I hope so anyway. On a hybrid level, I think it would be good to get a new EP from someone like Half Empty, as well as Lude, who's put out a load of good singles up until now, but needs to take it to the next level with an EP this year. You've then got others from that style like Nasty, Bad Rapper, Never Left and Lodge Boy, who have been doing great things for that scene recently and just need to keep going with it in 2019. Perhaps with EPs of their own. In terms of mid-tempo, I'm looking forward to hearing more from Death Pact, Zabo, Social Kid, No Etiquette, Kriller, Swarm, Volic, I Am Sid, One True God. There are so many now where there weren't that many before. It's fucking great. As well as any big projects the Synesthesia label have got lined up, of course. Venturing into the house genre, just gonna pick out a few here that I think 2019 could be a big year for. Cage, Sunny Banks, Thickia, Wednesday, Jackknife, Pascal, Fiasco, Blossom and Kaiser Gel. And Drezzo of course, he's let us know that a lot of new music will be coming our way from him next year. I expect it'll be a new EP and a load of remixes like usual. Very excited to hear all of that. Label-wise, I'm also very interested to see how the likes of Gold Digger, The Boathouse and Noir Sur Blanc progress in 2019, having had very good 2018s generally across their many releases. In terms of drum and bass, the interesting thing for me as per will be who releases an album. There's always a good amount of them over the course of a year, and I wonder who will step up to the plate in 2019. 2018 was a good year EPs wise for the likes of Kazra, Any, Emperor, Foreign Concept, QZB and more, and I just wonder who will dip into the album format next year, with some of those just mentioned having already done so in the past. Big up labels like Critical Music, Vision Recordings and Meth Lab Agency as well. Hope they keep killing it in 2019. And I could say a similar thing for the outright experimental realm of dark electronic music. Last year we saw big albums from the likes of Saruda, Woolly Mammoth and No Other Boy, but who will come out with one this year? We'll have to wait and see. On the subject of trends now, and returning to dubstep briefly, I think next year will be a year of even more experimentation in the genre, building on the wealth of different styles and approaches that we had last year. I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say that Rhythm will die in 2019. Far from it, I think it will continue to thrive. But I also feel that more personality, melody, flavour and character will be brought back into dubstep production over the next 12 months. Trap music, I feel, will have more of an influence in its heaviest forms, had one of its best years last year, and there are some great producers coming through with that style, so I can see it expanding in 2019. Bass House perhaps took a slight dip last year quality-wise, but 2019 could be a resurgent year for the genre. Those artists that I mentioned before are gonna come out with some big stuff next year, so get following them. Hopefully we'll get that Joyride album at some point as well. And the dark forms of house I think will also rise up significantly this year compared to last. Inspired by all of Drezzo's new stuff, I think we'll get a load more of that style coming into the dark electronic music consciousness once more. Drum and bass will continue to chug along as always, still waiting for it to be fully appreciated in the US, which I feel it deserves. If it's something that even remotely interests you, then get following those labels that I mentioned before. They're all great. Critical Music, Vision Recordings, Meth Lab Agency. I find there's a big complextro and glitch hop hole in the dark electronic music scene at the moment. Styles of music which didn't have a big say last year and which I don't see making much of a comeback in 2019. But beyond all of that, I hope there to be more of a concentration on ideas rather than sound this coming year. The former kind of falling by the wayside in 2018 in comparison to other previous years. And again, we'll just have to wait and see how everything pans out. But here's to another year of dark electronic music. There's a lot in place for it to be a fantastic year, and let's hope that it's just that. There are SoundCloud links to every artist and label mentioned in this video in the description box down below. You want to be following as many of them as possible, if not all of them. I expect they'll all be releasing some very impactful music in 2019. With regards to the Nawtystep channel, it will be for the most part much of the same, with EP, album and compilation reviews, top 5s and top 10s, rave footage, opinion pieces and more across a wide range of genres in bass music, as well as a load of new features that will be integrated into the channel over the course of next year. So make sure you're subscribed and have rung the notification bell to be the first to hear of all this newness when it comes out. Other than that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for watching these videos over the last 12 months, engaging in the comments and idea generally, spreading the word where you can and more. I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and I know exactly what I want to do with it, and none of that is possible without you guys. So big ups to all of yourselves for being a part of this ever-growing community. 2018 was great, but 2019 is about to be much bigger. I cannot wait to show you all the stuff I've got lined up. Onwards and upwards we go, and I shall see all of you legends next year. Keep it naughty as always. Peace out.